Shabbat Shalom. I would like to read a verse from the Isaiah 29:14 today. And therefore, behold, I will proceed to do marvelous work among this people, even the marvelous work and wonder. For the wisdom of their wise man shall perish, and the understanding of their prudent man shall be hid. Woe unto them, this is verse 15, that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in dark. And they say, who sees us, and who knows us? As Apostle Paul was saying that wisdom of this world is foolishness to God. And this is will be proved again and again and again, especially probably with this election. That unless the people of God will enter their hiding place and close their door and cry out to the living God, as it happened in the time of Hezekiah, when the remnant of Israel were surrounded by the king Sennacherib. When he came and positioned his army around Judah, and the mocking spirit started. He was mocking the living God. He was mocking and lying. Of course, it goes together. And telling, oh, the Lord said unto me, go up against this land and destroy it. So it always comes together, lying and mockery. And there are one thing which Hezekiah told his people: don't talk to him, don't answer. And mockery continued. And Hezekiah, in his desperation, because he knew how great was the army of this Assyrian army, but he didn't look on the size of Assyrian army. He turned around and went with that petition which they sent to them, and with his broken heart, broken and contrite heart, God looking for that broken and contrite heart in every believer and his people. And he went to the house of the Lord. He spread the letter before him, and he cried to the God of Israel. And he said, O Lord of hosts, God of Israel, O Lord of hosts. He understood that he is the God of every living person on the earth. And he is not just God of Israel, he is God of every living person on the earth. He understood the depth and glory of his God. And he is a living God that dwelleth between cherubim. Thou art God, even thy alone, and all the kingdom of the earth. Thy has made heaven and earth. Incline thy ear, O Lord. Open thy eyes, O Lord, and see and hear all the words of Sennacherib, which he has to reproach the living God. And he went along and said, yes, he cast down the gods of other nations. This is what he was bragging about. But the problem is, and the reason is, they were cast down because they were not really gods. And therefore, they were destroyed. And by the way, that's going to happen in America. Everything which is not of God, as it happened in Egypt, the living God of Israel will one by one will pull them down in America too. If we're crying for revival, if we're crying for renewal, everything which is not of God will have to go from our life, from our hearts, from our homes, and from this nation, and God will deal with that, with any God, which with so-called gods, any idol, and they will be pulled down in this nation. And this is something, by the way, as a believer, we have to come and be cleansed. When we take in communion, when we're crying out in our quiet times that God will remove any blinders from our hearts, from our eyes, from our ears, that every idol will be removed. And now therefore, Hezekiah is saying, O Lord our God, save us from his hand, that all the kingdoms of the earth may know that thou art the Lord, even thou only. And the word which came through Isaiah the prophet. By the way, we really probably have to ask that Lord will raise up another prophet, that it will be, he can come and be honored in the White House, not dishonored, to speak to our presidents, to our House of Representatives and Congress, that we need a prophet of God who hear from the Lord, from living God. And he told Hezekiah, basically God of Israel said, who are you mocking? Who are you mocking? You're mocking the living God, on whom you have exalted thy voice, and lifted up thy eyes on high, even against the Holy One of Israel. And he tell Hezekiah, you don't have to fight. Don't afraid of him. And don't look what Lord will do for the remnant of Israel. And in one night, the angel of God went, and so all the army, more than 180,000 people, were smite, and they were dead. And when the remnant of Israel woke up, it was no army to fight with. God did it. Angel of God did it. And Assyrian king was called back. He had to turn around. He went in the house of his God. He worshipped him and was assassinated. That was the end of the story. And this is encouraging for every believer today, because God didn't change. He is the same. And we have this hope to which we ran, to take a hold of the horn of the altar. And this hope we have as an anchor of our soul, which will deliver us, which will hold us. And I'm telling anybody who still don't know him, this living God, cry out to him. I did when I came to this country. By his mercy, he opened my eyes, he opened my ears, and I receive Yeshua. He is a living God who's sitting at the right hand of the Father. And I cried to him, and I received him in my heart. And I was delivered, as this poor man cried out to him, from all my troubles. Other troubles will come, but I know whom to run and whom cry out, and how to take a hold of the horn of the altar. And this is still available to anybody today who will call out on his name, and his name is Yeshua. Amen.